Good evening, everybody. Sorry for the delay. We're ready to start. Start with Sky Sports News if you're in the room. Yep, there. Behind you.
Gareth, hello there.
Hi.
Ian Bolton from Sky. We know that Kieran Trippier hasn't travelled. Is he the only one from your squad that you've been working with this week that hasn't travelled? And is everyone that has travelled fit to play?
Yes, yeah, everybody else is fit and available.
Yeah. As far as the new players that you've been working with over the course of this week, Nathaniel Chalabar, Harry Maguire, do you have any hesitation about using them in this match?
No, they've both trained really well, fitted in very well, but that's what I expected as well. You know, Nathaniel I've obviously worked with for 4 years, so know him pretty much inside out. He's more than capable of holding his own at this level. Harry has really impressed me at the end of the season with Hull, the way he started the season with Leicester, and in training this week he's fitted in. You know, you wouldn't have known it was his first camp with us, so really pleased with what they've done.
Who will captain your team? Wayne Rooney's obviously retired. England are looking for a new captain. Have you made a decision?
I have, but I've not spoken to the players yet, so we had to come here straight from the airport. But I'm keen to keep sharing the leadership. I think we've focused too much on Wayne in particular in the last few years, and we've got to start building a more resilient group of leaders and allowing people to take responsibility. You know, for me it's not the most important decision. The more important thing is trying to build the group to a stronger group, that they react in the right way collectively when we're in pressure moments in games. And I think by just putting one person forward to do that, I don't think we're going to build that as a team.
And in terms of who plays in goal, how have you found Joe Hart this week? I mean, his start with West Ham, having conceded 10 goals in 3 matches. How have you found his confidence? Do you have any concerns on that front?
Joe's trained really well. I mean, I wanted to see how he would respond to that, because it's been a difficult start to the season for his club. But I'm pleased that he's in a good frame of mind. His training's been excellent. He'll start for us tomorrow, and his performances since I've been the manager have been very, very good. So we've only conceded the 2 goals in Scotland in this qualifying campaign.
Why did you decide that he will start? What was your thinking about?
Because I believe he's our best goalkeeper at the moment. So equally, he knows there's great competition for places coming through. You know, we're 3 matches into the start of the season, so I don't feel as if others have had time to stake a claim to push Joe out of that position. And I'm sure he's going to want to perform and show people the level that he's capable of. So, but it's good that we've got 3 excellent goalkeepers in the squad now. We've got Jordan Pickford, who's been in. We've got Fraser Forster, who's very unfortunate not to be in the squad. So I think it's going to be fascinating to see how they all gel over the next few months.
It's the first time as an international manager that a squad get-together has coincided with the closure of the transfer window. How have you found it? Has it been disruptive for you?
No, I mean, I was a bit concerned that there was a possibility always that a deal might have been going on today, and that wouldn't have been ideal. You know, we might have had to leave somebody behind, but that hasn't been the case. We've said all along, if any of the players need any assistance with logistics of transfers, then we're there to help it and make it as smooth as possible. So fortunately it seems like all business was done yesterday, and it hasn't affected our preparations at all.
On a wider topic, we learned this week that you've spoken with an advisor from the New Zealand rugby team. What was the kind of thinking behind that, and have you already sensed that it's been of benefit?
Well, I think that's a broader piece of work really that's going on across all of our national teams. That's not it's been reported as being the senior team, and we've definitely taken a lot from the discussions, but but it's a broader piece of work that we're looking at across all of our teams of how we develop our identity and culture. So they are obviously the outstanding sports team over the last few decades. Incredible win percentage, and they don't have more players than the others. In fact, England have more players to select from in rugby union. So, and they don't have more funds than everybody else. So there's something other than just the number of players that is the key to their success. So I always think, from a coaching perspective, you want to look at the best teams around the world in whatever sport and see what they're doing and why are they successful, because there's lessons to learn from all of that.
Have you actually used it this week at all, or anything from what you're doing with that advisor? Has it come into play this week?
Well, we're continually working on different things with the players and trying to improve them physically, mentally, tactically. That's our job as coaches. So for me, that's nothing different to what we should be doing. Every time you're working with the team, you're looking to improve them, make them more resilient as a group, get their mental toughness to the best possible level. But probably key for me this week has been starting to get more detail in how we play and really start to nail that down. We've got to keep improving in terms of our performances and make sure that there's real clarity for the players in the style of play.
Your first match in charge was against Malta at Wembley. Here we are, 11 months on. How do you feel that things have progressed? How do you feel that it's going in very general terms?
Well, we've had, I think, about 25 days with the players since I became permanent manager, which would be about 16, 17 training sessions. So across this period of 8 months. So not easy to make instant change, but I feel that we are progressing. I feel the players are a lot clearer about the direction we want to go, about the way we want to work, that we're going to challenge them all the time to try and improve individually and collectively, that we're here to provide the top quality support for them. But it's also going to take some time to put those things in place. But I'm excited with the players. I think they have a go at everything we attempt. They're really receptive to things that they feel can help them improve. And I like their enthusiasm and I like the spirit of them as a group.
Carl, if I can come to you. You played in that match at Wembley against Malta 11 months ago. How do you reflect on that?
We've seen in video clips that the gaffer's shown us throughout the week that they are hard to break down. They play a 5-4-1 and not many teams go and turn them over 4-5, 6-0. So I think tomorrow it's going to have to be a game of being patient, using our heads, and being a little bit creative. To go and break them down and see if we can pick off the spaces after that. But as I say, the lads are fully enjoying it, working with the gaffer, his ideas, training sessions. We're all, buying into it, and I think the future's bright.
I mean, do you think the players do have an understanding of what it means to play for England?
Yeah, I mean, I've just said before there, when you're a kid and you don't want to put on an England shirt playing football, I think you're probably looking at the wrong, profession that you want to be in. So, everyone's very proud to play for the country and put on the England jersey and sing the national anthem in front of the fans and in front of the nation. So I don't think that's questionable.
Tell us what happened on the way here. Dele Alli's Instagram live. What was going on with you and Eric Dyer?
Yeah, it's just it's a bit of friendly banter. I think it's been took a bit too far. Me, Del, Harry, Eric, we're all very close. I've known them for a good 6-7 years now, so it's all just a bit of friendly banter, and I won't read too much into it.
Is it true that Eric referred to you as a traitor?
Yeah, listen, it's just kind of one of them things that we just have a bit of fun about. Me and Eric have a good relationship on and off the field. We have banter together, and I take it, he takes it, and that's just about it, really.
So you've made up?
We never fell out.
Okay, I mean, Gareth, what do you make? I'm assuming you're aware of what happened.
Well,
On Instagram Live.
Yeah.
Do you have any comment on it? I mean, is it the kind of thing that England players should be doing?
Well, why not? We spend forever saying the players don't connect with the supporters. They're never open. They're never engaging. And then when they do, we try and kill them. So what do we want? We've got a great group of lads who like to have fun at the right times. They know the balance of when to work and when to have fun, and that's important. We've got to be able to do both, because playing for England should be fun. It's an incredibly proud thing to do, but also it's got to be enjoyable, and sometimes we forget that. But in terms of what they say to each other and how they carry on, well, if that was what was said, that's mild. So.
Listen, finally for me, what would winning here mean in terms of progressing to qualifying?
Yeah, if we 10 points means nobody can touch us. So 3 tomorrow is key to that. As is the level of performance. We want to see signs of progress as a group. And as Carl says, that's going to be difficult tomorrow in terms of the way they set up. They don't allow too many chances to be created. We've got to try and take that challenge on. How can we create as many clear opportunities as we can, and if we do that, our players will score goals. So but yeah, of course, it's we're 4 matches away from going to a World Cup. That's incredibly exciting for all of us.
Gareth, we seem to say it every summer, but what do you make of the eye-watering sums that have been spent this summer in the transfer window, and I guess just where football is going? It's obviously very different from when you were a player, and that was not that long ago.
That's very kind. not strictly true, but it's very kind. Well, look, I think it's simple economics. It's supply and demand. Our league has more wealth than any other. There are obviously pockets of major clubs around Europe that can match that, the likes of PSG, the big clubs in Spain, Bayern Munich. Outside of that, not many can compete with our whole league for financial resource. So that then drives the market. It's a false market, but it's the same if you're buying a house or anything else. Somebody's worth what the buyer is prepared to pay. Is that where we want to be as a sport? Really difficult to say, but I guess the American sports have been there for years, really, in terms of salaries and everything else. So the money is within the game, and that is the landscape that we're operating on.
Roy Keane was saying this week that some of the players he played with, like Giggs, would be worth $2 billion now, and then he talks about what he'd be worth. Have you ever thought about what you might be worth in this current state?
Probably about as much as I was worth when I was playing, yeah.
How important is it for Alex that he's now got this move to Liverpool? He looks like he'll probably play more regularly, and how important is that for you and for England?
Well, I think he was starting to play regularly at Arsenal, and that's a fantastic football club. He's going to another fantastic football club, so those decisions are down to the players and their own reasons for that. For me, it's great as many of our players playing at the top clubs as possible, because they're all going to get Champions League experience as well as playing in important league matches, and the more big matches they play in and feel what it's like to play in that pressure and feel what it's like to play against that quality, can only improve them, and that can only benefit England. So that, to a man, they're working with some outstanding coaches at their clubs as well, day in, day out, and again, that can only improve them as well.
For both of you, do you feel like it should be a situation where it's completely ended before the season begins? Because your players are put in unsettling positions. As a manager, you're having to deal with players that might be unsettled coming into international duty. Should it be over?
Well, the reality of that is that would have to be linked up right across Europe, and unless that can happen, then it's impossible to take place.
But would you want it to be?
I think every coach would prefer to have his squad in place in pre-season, be able to work with them for weeks and build the way that they want to play. But again, as a coach, you've got to adapt and adjust to everything that's thrown at you. So I don't think there's an ideal solution to it, really.
Cole, what is it like to be in that eye? When everyone's talking about your transfer and you just want to get it done, how difficult is it to sort of stay away from all the noise about worth and how much he's going for, how much, all that kind of noise, and deal with it yourself as a player?
I think I kind of had it easy because I went on holiday, and it was taken care of by both sets of clubs. So, I was spending time with my family and enjoying the precious moment that I had with them. So for that experience, I can't really talk about, but as I say, mine was taken care of.
But would you, as a player, like to see it ended before? It was a bit different for you, but for players like Alex, who've had to come away on international and as of yesterday, still not sure. Do you think it should end before the season actually begins?
Yeah, it's probably like the gaffer said. It's going to have to be, gone all across Europe to, get it in place. But for me personally, it was good that I got in before pre-season, where I could, get to know new faces, get to know how the manager wants to play throughout pre-season, playing games with them. So personally, that was better for me. Yeah.
Gareth, just going back to what you were saying about the All Blacks and pulling on the shirt and how important it is. Do you feel a sense of pride has been lost somewhere along the way? Like, what is it you want to address?
No, I don't think it's pride that's been lost, because every team I played in with England were incredibly proud, and these lads are the same, and so are our under-15s when they come in the building right the way through. So, but at times we haven't discussed that as a group, and we haven't maybe passed on to the players that come into the camp, how we work, and you've had to fend for yourself a little bit coming in. So I guess there's some of the things we're trying to affect, but equally a lot of the things we're working on are personal to us. Too much comes out, in my opinion. So I like to work with the team, and a lot of the things that we work on remain amongst ourselves.
And just on the captaincy, you were saying earlier that sort of too much pressure is put on one person. Do you feel too much emphasis in the past has been put on an England captain and how important it is to be an England captain, and actually you should sort of spread the wealth from now on? Well,
I mean, what I must say is that it is an incredibly proud and honourable position to have. So in no way am I trying to say it isn't important. What I am trying to do is develop a group of lads that more are able to take responsibility and more are put into situations where they have to take responsibility. I think years ago that happened a bit more naturally. Nowadays, school's different, the way lads are brought through academies is different, and so some of the experiences are different. But we have lads of great potential who can, speak really well and can step forward and take responsibility. They do it on the field, and so that's what I'm trying to build as a group. Not that you can hide behind one person, or not that one person has to do all the. There's a lot of responsibilities come with being a captain. I was captain at every club, and sometimes that's draining because you're having to do so much as well as your own game. So at times I think it's nice to share that load, and that's what we're trying to achieve.
Do we have any further questions?
I'm first of all, welcome to Malta. I'm Christian Muscat from Union Print, it's local press. Your considerations about the Malta squad from the videos you have seen, the game at Wembley Stadium, even about the following England having Malta. That I'm not sure if you are aware that Malta, there is a very huge support base of England. Your considerations mainly on the Malta squad, even if there are some players which impressed you in the last game or even from the videos you see.
Well, the team defend really well, are really well organised. Obviously the coach is an experienced coach, so I think he's using the resources he has very intelligently. They are capable of keeping the ball, in midfield areas especially. They have some good technical players. We know it's a game where maybe we have to be patient to break them down. We certainly will have to work to create opportunities. In terms of the following, I played here for England, so I remember the game, and
2000.
yeah, and so I know how popular English football is here, and I think a lot of the stadium tomorrow will be England supporters, whether they're travelling from England or live here. So that'll be a nice welcome for us. So we're looking forward to that.
Regarding, there were reports in the English tabloids this week that you're preparing for a proper send-off for Wayne Rooney at Wembley Stadium. Do you confirm this?
Oh, I think the FA are keen to recognise Wayne's contribution. He's our record number of caps for an outfield player and our record goal scorer. So there should be something put in place. What that will be, I don't know. Those discussions are going on in other areas of our organisation.
The Kyle Walker, and maybe independently of tomorrow's match, your first reactions, your first experience at Manchester City?
No, it's been great. Obviously, working with the manager at the level that he is and the reputation that he's got, throughout the world is fantastic, and I'm only going to learn. So fully excited towards the season, but now I've got my my England shirt on and fully concentrated on the game tomorrow.
Okay, Rory.
Mr. Southgate from Malta as well, Union Print. I'm talking about as well Mr. Wayne Rooney. 14 years and a half, 2 years as a captain. Do you believe that he really wanted to retire?
Well, I have to believe when he said he wants to.
You didn't call him for the last matches.
Okay.
Do you really believe that he wanted to retire, or he got offended maybe in some of your previous decisions?
Well, look, you would have to ask him that question, but his professionalism and his humility working with him as a coach has been second to none. The way in which he accepted being left out of the team the first time that I had to do it. That wasn't something that I take any pleasure in. I obviously played with Wayne. He's, in my lifetime playing for England, he was one of 3 exceptional players. We had lots of top players. He was one of 3 exceptional players with Gascoigne and Scholes. So he's had an incredible impact on English football. So to have to take a decision not to pick him was very difficult. But at the time he wasn't really playing for his club. Now he is playing for his club, and he's playing really well, and that was why I asked if he'd like to come back, and I felt he could have a good impact as a senior player as well. So,
but when he was with Manchester United on the bench, you didn't call him. Now at Everton, you called him. What do you think? What's your reaction now?
Because he's playing really well. So, I have to select players on form. And
so when he was on the bench with Manchester United, you think that he wasn't very well as well? He wasn't very well?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
When he was on the bench with Manchester United,
yeah,
he was trained as well with Manchester United. So
yes.
You think that he wasn't well?
Well, at the time he wasn't playing, and it's difficult to assess a player's form when they're not playing. And now he is playing. His confidence is high. He's playing with hunger and enthusiasm. So that was the decision I had to take. Sometimes as a coach, I can't keep everybody happy. I have to make the decisions that I believe are right for the team, trying to respect the individuals. But of course, people will agree and disagree with that. But I've got to do what I believe to be correct.
Last question.
So you think that he will be included in the next World Cup with England's team?
Well, Wayne has retired, so you have to. I'm afraid you have to ask him that question.
I was watching some news from England today, and there's some possibility that he will be included as well. It's not true?
That's because these guys asked me the question, if he was available, would you pick him? So I have to answer it in the way I believe, which is, of course. You would never close the door to a player of his quality.
We'll call it there. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.